I have a great one for you all today. It is a $2,500 grant. If you don't know what grants are, it is debt-free funding, which means that it's money that you can use in your business to grow your business without having to pay any of the money back. And if you're asking, how can something this amazing be even possible? Well, let me explain. So I've broken this video down into 4 parts. First, I'm going to tell you more about grants, where to find them, and what grants are available to small business owners. Secondly, we're going to go through pre-qualifications. There's certain steps that all business owners should take before applying to grant. And for the third point, I'm going to share with you more details specifically about this $2,500 grant. And then lastly, I'm going to walk you through step by step through the grant application. And so feel free to hop to the section that's most relevant to you, as I've left timestamps for each part of the video. And so when it comes to grants, what you need to know is that they are given out at each level of the government. And so you can find grants for small business owners from your local city, from your state, and from the federal government. You can also find grants from nonprofit organizations and from corporations. These corporations can be big and small, and I myself have given out grants 3 years in a row. And so I personally like to focus on corporate grants because they're a lot easier for business owners like you to apply for. And with preparation, it can take you anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to apply to these grants. And so corporate grants specifically is a great way to add a new revenue stream to your business without having to spend too much time and effort filling out the grant application. Now let's talk about the 4 steps business owners should do to get their business grant ready. And so the first step is all about mindset. We got to go into the grant application thinking that we are amazing, that we have gifts and ideas that are important and necessary in the world, and that we have created a business that has a huge positive impact. And all we need is a little grant funding to really go the distance with our business. And so we have to go into the mindset before we even apply to these grants that we are a grant winner. So I want to hear you say loud and bold in the chat, I am a grant winner, because that is setting the stage and getting you ready to win not just this grant, but many more grants that are out there and have your name written all over it. Now that we have our minds right, it is now time to get a legal entity for our business. This can look like an LLC or corporation. Typically, most business owners get an LLC or a limited liability company because it's the easiest entity to set up. And I've left a business formation company in the comments that'll walk you through step by step through the process of getting an LLC registered with your state. And so the reason why an LLC is important because it shows you invested in making your business legit. And that's what grant organizations, especially this one, wants to see in the small business owners that apply for this grant. On to the third step to getting a grantable business, and that is opening up a business checking account. Not just to separate your personal money from your business, but the grant organization needs a place to send your business the grant money once you win the grant. And so a personal checking account isn't going to cut it because it doesn't look professional. And so you can open up a free business checking account today with one of the best online accounts, and that's Relay. They have a ton of perks that I have talked about in some other videos, which you can find in the description. But to keep it short, you can earn up to 3% interest on the money in your account, and they focus on profit first, which helps you clearly organize the money in your business. And so Relay is a great checking account for new business owners. Our business is almost grant ready, and so we're on to the 4th step, which is downloading my free business grant checklist. And so the reason you need this checklist is that it's going to walk you through step by step through the entire grant application. From the first step, which is finding a grant that your business qualifies for, all the way into the last step when you're sending the grant sponsor reports because you successfully won and spent the grant money. And so when it comes to applying to grants, you don't want to miss a step because it could really hurt your chances of winning. But with my business grant checklist, it's going to be a friendly reminder that helps you so that you don't miss a step. So the organization sponsoring this grant is Secret SOS. And so they have created this $2,500 grant to help small business owners elevate. And what's great about this $2,500 grant is that it's an open grant, which means that you can use the $2,500 in any area of your business. So you can use it for marketing, to hire employees, or to get new equipment. And so with this specific grant, you have the flexibility and the freedom to spend the $2,500 on any area of your business. And so the deadline to apply for this grant is December 31st, which is about a week away at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I know you're gonna try to apply for this grant as soon as you can, because you definitely don't wanna wait to the deadline, because the grant organization could close the grant a few days before. And so I wouldn't want you to spend the time trying to apply to a grant if they wind up closing it early. So try to apply to this grant as soon as you can. And so when it comes to the grant requirements, or who is able to apply for this grant, they do have a few qualifications. First off, you do need to be over the age of 21. Secondly, you do need to be a U.S. resident that doesn't live in one of these states. And then for the last requirement, you do need to have a legal entity. That can be an LLC, like I mentioned earlier, a corporation, a partnership, or a trust. But you do need to have a legal entity in order to apply to this grant. Just so you have some inspiration and you know how possible it is to win a grant without having a huge social media following, I want to spotlight Lit to Animate. They won the $2,500 grant in Q3 of this year, and they won this grant without having a huge following. They have less than 200 followers on Instagram and less than 200 subscribers on YouTube. And so it is very much so possible to win a grant without having a huge social media presence. But it is important that you do have one. And so something that you should know about this grant is that they do charge a $15 application fee. And so before you run away from this $2,500 grant opportunity, I do want to say that some of these applications do have a fee. It does take a lot of time and effort to review all of the grant applications. I personally reviewed all of the grant applications for my financial freedom grant, and that took hours upon hours of time. And so it does make sense that this grant application does charge a fee. You do not have to apply to this grant, but it is a great opportunity to receive $2,500 for your business and get access to a really good community that focuses on helping small business owners. So here we are on the Secret SOS grant website. And so the way that you're going to access this grant is you're going to go to secretsos.net/SOS_grant. And so once you're ready to apply, you're going to click apply now. But before you do so, I would read over the website to make sure you have as much information as possible. And so when waiting over a grant website, there's a few things that you should pay attention to. One, you should look at previous grant winners. What kind of business do they have? And look to see if their grant application is available. And so you want to make sure to get as much information and detail as possible so that you can then put in your grant application what the grant judges are looking for. And so it explains why they invest in small business owners, similar to what I told you earlier in this video. And then it talks about the steps to apply. It gives you the application period, application requirements, as well as letting you know about the application fee. And then lastly, you should know that the grant winner will be announced on January 15th, 2025. And so currently we have two important dates to look out for. December 31st is the deadline, and January 15th is when the winner will be announced. And so between those two dates, you should be checking your email, because they're likely going to send the finalists an email, and you will need to respond back in probably a short period of time so that they can then choose who will be the grant winner. And so make sure to check your email. And so the apply now button will take you right here to the grant application. And what's nice is that it's on the same page as the grant details. And so as you see, it lets you know who can apply, as well as the states that can't apply. So let's quickly go through the application. So question 1 is going to ask, are you over 21 years of age? And so as you see, the very first few questions will be qualifying questions to see if you're even eligible to apply to the grant. And so yes, I'm over 21. What is your legal business name and DBA if applicable? I do have a DBA, so I could put Darcy's Business here as well as my LLC name. And then it's going to ask, what is your legal business entity? I do have an LLC. And so it does mention sole proprietorships. And so how you can register a sole proprietorship with your state is by registering a DBA or doing business as. If you're just running your business under your name, then that counts as not having a business entity, which to qualify for this grant, you do need a registered business. Then it's going to ask, what state or U.S. territory is your business entity registered? We can say the state of Texas. And then it asks us, if selected, you will be required to verify that you belong to one of the following charitable classes should you select it. And so for the next session, we have business resource. And so it asks us very straightforward questions like, what stage is our business in? How many years has our business in operation? What is your business model? Are we storefront, mobile, online, service-based, product-based? Average, how many hours per week do you work in your business? There should be no question that goes unanswered, no matter if it says it's optional or not. So all the questions up to step 15 are very straightforward, just asking you general questions about you and your business. Once you get to step 16, that's when it's your time to shine, speak from your heart, tell your story, convey your mission. And so just to let you know, I want you to take on main character energy. I want you to put yourself in the center of your story. And I want you to read your writing and feel it pulling at your heartstrings. You can give it to your family to read, a friend to read, but whoever you have reading over your grant details should really feel like you shared who you are and they felt like they wanted, if not needed, to invest in you right away to make your dreams come true. And so some of the short response questions are, tell us about you and your business. Why do you believe you will succeed in business? And then describe your business achievements. And so when it comes to filling out these questions, you want to make sure you copy the question and put them all into a Word document. I don't see a word count here, but generally speaking, when it comes to these questions, you want to make sure it's as close but not over the 250 word count, as that's the requirement for most grant applications. And now it's asking you for some social media contact information, as well as how you heard about Secret SOS. And so once you get to the end, it's just going to ask for your contact information again. Then you'll hit continue to then pay the $15, which is the cost to submit your application. And if you need a little bit more help filling out this grant application, make sure to watch this video right here as it walks you through how to use AI when writing a grant.